Hey, all you hip chicks and hip cats out there in YouTube land, because that's where I'm landing today. I actually don't expect many people to be here, if any, because it's Wednesday, it's not Monday. And I have to say the last 2 days have really been exhausting. So I wasn't beating the bushes the way I usually do. But if you come in now or later, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up on YouTube or something here like some hearts or whatever. But meanwhile, I'm just going to do my Cat's Meow, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll, I'll just take it as it comes. Now, I want to say that I have not had a chance to script any of this. So it's going, hey, Marianne, hey, just great to see you. I was just saying that I have not had time to script this. And so actually, if you have any requests for any of my songs, put them in the comment box, and I'll get to them. I'm going to start though by introducing myself. Enin Boujou, Catherine M. Thompson, Indigenous, Gawin in Gidgen, I still can't say the word, in Gikendazin, Ndurem, St. Thomas, Ndunjiba, Megwa, Burlington, Indinda, Indikanua, Mage Igo, Anishnabemo, and Nungo. And we acknowledge that Cat's Meow sits on the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, the Six Nations of the Grand River, Haudenosaunee and Wendat Confederacies, as well as the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe Nation, the Haudenosaunee and Wendat Confederacies, and the lands of many other Indigenous people who passed through or who called and still call this land their home. It's part of the Dish with One Spoon Treaty, and an agreement between the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Wendat Confederacies, allied nations, that is to say, to peacefully share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. In making this statement, I acknowledge and honor that these lands carry the truth of the lives that were taken and the agreements that were broken, and the wisdom of ancestors whose spirits live on in the soil, animals, and vegetation. In stepping on this land, we seek both permission and forgiveness from these ancestors, with the agreement that we have the responsibility to honor and respect all who are here now and all of yet to come, recognizing that in many ways these lands remain restricted from teachings, resources, and development in partnership with Indigenous people. We're grateful for the opportunity we have to live, to receive gifts from, to work on, and to benefit from this land. And that is really the end of my script. By the way, my introduction is Catherine M. Thompson is my name. I don't know my clan. I don't think yes, that is one of the things I said. St. Thomas, Ontario is where I come from. Burlington is where I live, and I'm learning Ojibwe language now. Although I have to say, very sadly, because I was so pleased, and it was a lovely, lovely class, but things sort of got in the way of my showing up every time, and then some things happened at the other end. I think that the teacher maybe ended up not being well, and there I am. I find you in the middle. Got to have that symmetry, you know. So the classes, the last few classes were canceled, and but I'm going to pursue it again later. So Marianne, you may be the only one here, so if you have something you want to request, go ahead. I'm going to go way back to the very beginning, and I'm going to see if I can struggle through this song. I didn't have time to find it, but next week I will. I'm going to find the official lyric video for this song, but you can find it on my website, Catherine M. Thompson, Cat's Cupboard, not my website, my YouTube channel. And it is, I think it should be under Singing My Songs, and it is the official lyric video for On the Water. This is nice if I started at the beginning, eh? There we go. Let's Harper on the ukulele pipes. A certain calm descends that stills my restless heart. I leave every fear and worry far behind, and things that really matter, like life and love and you, seem more than true on the water. On the water, my sorrows wash away. On the water, I'm lifted by the waves. My spirit soars to climb the wind between the earth and sky. That's why I always feel on the water. Whenever I have found myself beside a lake, the rushing ebb and flow, a constant give or take, its sound drowns out the chatter in sweet serenity. I'm more than me on the water. On the water, my sorrows wash away. On the water, I'm lifted by the waves. My spirit soars to climb the wind between the earth and sky. That's why I feel free on the water. And when my time is done on that fateful day, in a boat and watch me float away, my heart will be at peace, and I will rest at peace for all eternity on the water, for all eternity. My sorrows wash across. That's the instrumental solo. Sorry, I muffed that last verse, I guess. Here's the last verse. And when my time is done on that fateful day, put me in a boat and watch me float away. My heart will be at ease, and I will rest in peace for all eternity on the water, for all eternity on the water. Well, that was one whole verse and chorus that wasn't there. I was singing it wrong, but that's what happens when you don't have a script. And I'm just going to see if I can, if I do this. Oh, that's really bright. Okay. Well, that's better than it was. Let me just try. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that. I don't know whether it matters. It seems to be okay in the YouTube videos. So, Marianne, do you have anything you'd like to hear? Because if you do, put the name in so I know. And otherwise, I'm going to go back to the top. Well, one of the things that I can do today is that I just submitted 4 songs for the Women of Substance radio broadcast, a radio podcast, I guess it is, which is something that the Female Musicians Academy does. It's a Bree Nobles group. I've been a member of it for a long time, and well, several years anyway. And so I support them on Patreon a little bit, and as a result of that, I can submit to it every time they put out a call. So I submitted 4 songs, and I think they are probably all from Wildcat. But I'm going to do one of them now. And if I just have to pick up my phone here for a minute, guys. Because what I have to do is find the... that's really strange. Oh, no. Yeah, I guess I haven't actually done this and used this in July, right? So that's why it says June. So one of the songs I'm going to do is A Shot of Whiskey. That I submitted simply as, it was a really fun song and yada yada. So we'll look at that first. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Monday to Friday, it's a daily grind. Go to church on Sunday when we rest and pray. There goes a weekend, but for Saturday, hey, the only sign we can do it upright. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. My friends are with me and we're feeling alright. The band is pumping up our favorite songs. The joint is jumping as we sing along. The only time we can do it upright. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Susie is dancing with Sammy. Davy is dancing with Dan. I'm on the loose with nothing to lose. I'm gonna get me a man. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. My friends are with me and we're feeling alright. The band is pumping out our favorite songs. The joint is jumping as we sing along. The only time we can do it upright. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. A bartender, I love a whiskey. Hello, Jack. A sipping whiskey, I don't knock it back. A perfect Jack Daniels Manhattan straight up. That's what I call a loving cup. A chaser for beer, or is beer the chaser? A boiler maker? I'll bring that bottle over here and pour me a whiskey, a double whiskey, a shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Pour me a whiskey, a double whiskey, a shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Another round, I won't put up a fight. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Susie is dancing with Sammy. Davy is dancing with Dan. I'm on the loose with nothing to lose. I'm gonna get me a man. Go Chris, go Shine. Pour me a whiskey, a double whiskey, a shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. And of course that song came out of my RA diagnoses in 2018, and just before Song Studio started. And yeah, so that was the song that I wrote at Song Studio, which is a week-long intensive in songwriting. And this summer, they are doing 2 versions of Song Studio. One is a week in July in person for the first time since 2019. And then in August, they're having a week which is virtual. And that's what they did the last 2 years. And I participated in it, but I've done 10 Song Studios, and I'm sort of in a different place right now when it comes to writing songs. I'm focusing on other aspects of it and dealing with some other stuff. And so I'm just not even going to sign up for it at all, but I don't mind telling people about it if you are or you know any songwriters or aspiring songwriters or experienced songwriters of any type on any instrument at any age, at any level of skill, this is the place for them because it is absolutely a fabulous week. Changed my life. I took it first in 2012 and I went, this is 2022, so I went to 2021, which was 10 years. So it's songstudio.ca to get all the information, and I really highly recommend it. And you know, the virtual one is it's different than in person, of course. And they use Zoom, but they have all these breakout rooms, and you know you can have an interact. It's not like a series of webinars, you know, where you're going to sit and just listen and talk, take notes, and maybe be able to chat with other people, whatever. But this is a really interactive situation, and it's all day. And there's a morning session, an afternoon session, and an evening session, and the sessions are long, you know, so you gotta get comfortable. Get your laptop all charged up or whatever. I highly recommend it. Yeah, I've got another story which I'll tell you about later. So one of the other songs that I recommended, or that I submitted to the Women of Substance Radio podcast, and that, which is great. It's just like a playlist with a few little blurbs in between about different things. But was New Orleans Moon, which it's on Wildcat. I released it as a single in August of 2020, which was the 15th year of Katrina's 15th anniversary after Hurricane Katrina. And you know, Katrina was sort of the forerunner of all of as the storms have become more and more severe with climate change and more and more devastating, you know, and plus the fires and the floods. Right now, 50,000 people in Sydney, Australia are being affected by floods, which if you visited Australia is hard to imagine because most of it is very dry. But there you go. And, you know, it's a harbor city and it's just being flooded like crazy. And we have had fires everywhere in California and British Columbia. It's really something. So this is New Orleans Moon, and it's a bit of a tough one, but we'll try to. The last time that I saw you back in early June, that old New Orleans moon shone through our shadows. And now I'm way up here in Canada following the news. I'm sitting here alone thinking of you. I'm wondering where you are, I'm wondering what to do. And Hurricane Katrina looks like hell is breaking loose. Ooh, ooh. And the rain keeps falling, the water keeps on rising, the wind keeps howling, the people keep on dying. I don't know where you are, I don't know what to do. I want to fly the moon to New Orleans to rescue you. Remember having drinks on down at Phelan's Cafe and on Lake Pontchartrain, the food heaped on our tray. Now all the streets we walked together have been washed away. I cry, my friends, are all alone, so far, far away, far away, far away. The rain keeps falling, the water keeps on rising, the wind keeps howling, the people keep on dying. I don't know where you are, I don't know what to do. I want to fly the moon to New Orleans to rescue you. But I'm way up here in Canada following the news. I'm sitting here alone thinking of you. I'm wondering where you are, I'm wondering what to do. back in early June, that old New Orleans moon shone through our shadows. And I have lots of friends there, who got displaced. Unfortunately, no one that I knew died or had anybody in their families die, but people's homes were destroyed. The Susie and Willie, their home was destroyed by the flooding and when the levee broke. And other people that I knew, left and went other places and never came back. They found other positions in other places and never came back. But I want to tell you about Feelings Cafe and Jack Daniels. So Jack Daniels, I got turned on to by someone who was, when I was the director of the Academy for the Arts at Niagara District, the first year I was there, the drama teacher, I found out that he liked Jack Daniels. So I bought a little bottle of Jack Daniels and put it in his cubby at Christmas time, which I think was also when his birthday was. And so he came up to my house to thank me, and he said, have you ever had Jack Daniels? And I said, I don't know. It's after school. Everybody's gone home. Here's a couple of coffee cups. Poured a little Jack Daniels in. I was like, oh, that's really nice. I like that. Well, years go by, and one of the president of the network, and I was on the board, there at Schools Network, I was on the board, and she had been born in New Orleans, and but she didn't work there. But what she did was she hosted a meeting, so probably a board meeting or a mini conference or something like that. Anyway, there was about 10 of us, and there was a reservation made at a place called Feelings Cafe. And remember having drinks down at Feelings Cafe. So Feelings Cafe is in the French Quarter. It probably survived Katrina because it was pretty high up. It was near the levee that actually protected that part of the French Quarter. And so we all arrived, and the hosts, there are two guys who were hosts, owned the place, met us at the door with their signature drink, which was a Jack Daniels Manhattan. Now, these Manhattans were served in really big martini glasses, up to the brim. I mean, they're going to spill if you break that surface tension. So they said, well, before we show you to your table, these big round tables and sort of an outdoor patio section, and they said, before we show you to your table, we'd like you to take you for a tour, because this was an old house and they had made the whole thing over. In fact, the attic was kind of a little mini conference room, or you could have a big dinner up there. So up all these stairs, rickety, well, they weren't rickety stairs, but they were uneven stairs because it's an old house. And you're carrying this drink, so the only thing you can do is the drink to make sure it doesn't spill. And so by the time we got back to the table, everyone was going, oh, those are really good, but, maybe we should have another round. And after that round, other than knowing that we had a very good time and some delicious food, everything sort of fades into a mist. And so that was when I was first introduced to a perfect Jack Daniels Manhattan straight up. So I think that's kind of a funny story. Another song that I submitted off of Wildcat, the first song I sang, On the Water, sort of sang, is from Celtic Cat. And if you hear that song on Celtic Cat, or am I singing my songs? Of course, it was recorded by a much younger than me, but kind of sound alike, but beautiful, beautiful singer, AKA Emily Brady. And so if you want to hear that, it's on my, it's on Spotify and YouTube and all the other places, iTunes, etc. So I submitted a shot of whiskey, New Orleans Moon, and Put Down the Guns, which I submitted because right now they are soliciting submissions for music with a conscience. And of course, Put Down the Guns is a sort of a folk rock protest song. Originally, I was protesting the increase in urban violence around the GTA, gun violence, just, crazy shootings and a lot of gang-related stuff, but not, like people being shot by mistake or something, or drive-by, that kind of thing. So it was that, and then it was also, the horrible mass shootings. And, it's like Canada's not immune. We do occasionally have mass shootings, but not like in the States. Not anything like in the States, and one would hope it never gets to be. And so just kind of an anti-gun, an anti-gun protest. And now, of course, we've got the war in Ukraine, and wars anywhere. I mean, it's just an anti-war, anti-shooting, anti-gun song, and it's called Put Down the Guns. Back our children, bring back the sun, with peace and joy and harmony, a blossom for each gun. We march for civil liberties, we march to stop the war. It's time to turn this world around as we have done before. Put down the guns, people, put down the guns. Garden full of harmony, put down the guns, put down the guns, put down the guns, put down hatred and put down the guns. Put down the guns, put down the guns. I'm not going to remember this song. It was terrible. Choose to peace. Choose to love and not hate. Choose peace, not war. A garden full of harmony will rise up at your door. Reach out to your neighbors. Love each and every one. The only way to make a change is put down the guns. Put down the guns. This is a really strange arrangement that Chris has done. I can never keep it without my notes. Put down the guns. Put down the guns. Build a garden full of harmony and love for everyone. Put down the guns. Put down the guns. Put down the guns. Put down the guns. Put down hatred, these people, and put down the guns. Put down the guns. Put down the guns. Put down hatred, these people, and put down the guns. 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 Put down hatred, these people, and put down the guns. Put down the guns. Put down the guns. Put down the guns. Okay, well that was that was pathetic. I actually have to have the lyric sheet with the 4 bars of 8 here in between these two, and 2 bars of 8 between these two, because I can't get this arrangement, which is great. It's like, it's a march. It's got, all kinds of stuff in it. But, yeah, so apologies for that. However, that brings me to news for Marianne. I'm almost there. Marianne, I just was so exhausted Monday and Tuesday. I really tried, and I could not get this done. However, I did get a new design. So I'm going to, once again, just talk about these mugs. Here's the deal, people out there in YouTube land. I have a store on my website. Right now, it's just got my CDs in it. What I'm trying to do, because I have a print-on-demand place called Printful. I have Shopify. I believe I've set up a shop in Shopify. But for some reason, I can't seem to make the connection. I have to do that in Printful. Printful says, you got to set up a store. No, not your website. It's got to be a partner. Here are all the partners. Here's, 50 partners. So I said, okay, fine, Shopify, it's Canadian, whatever. Anyway, I'm missing something, and I can't get it to do. I think it would have done it this week, except the price of the cups is going to change this week. It's going up a little tiny bit. And it's not going to affect you at all, Marianne. Don't worry about that. So anyway, I've got these designs. So this is the Swing Daddy design. It's really neat. He doesn't really look like my dad, but I know it's my dad, so it's really cool. And my daughter Megan made these designs for me based on this photograph, which you've seen many times, but pulling Swing Daddy forward. So these designs will wrap around a cup. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Well, I'm missing around. Well, it doesn't matter. And this one is the one that she just finished. Oh, yes, there we go. So this is going to be, if you just make if you make a 5 by 5 inch square with put down the guns in the center of it, that is going to be the cover for the single. And so I'm really happy about that. I'm really excited about it. So all of those things are indeed going on. I just haven't managed to put the links together somehow. And part of the reason was because of an interview which I did last week, which I will tell you about in a minute, because I want to go on and do the one last song that I submitted. So it was A Shot of Whiskey, Put Down the Guns, A New Orleans Moon, and there was one other one. Orleans Moon. Isn't that funny? I'm trying to think, because I know it was from. It was I Drive Away, of course. So I will do that. But actually, what I will do then before I do that, and I don't think there's any way. I'm going to write it in the comments if I can. And it's artisanal writer dot, whoops, I want to make sure I dot and they don't comma, .com. Yeah, so what happened was that on June the 14th, and Marianne, you've been with me through all this, so we've been having a bit of a rough time here because of some serious illness in the family. And it's not me, thank heavens, but I am kind of chief cook or whatever you want to call it, and chauffeur. And so it means that I'm the one who's making the drives to the appointments and taking notes and all that kind of thing. And so on June the 14th, well, first of all, way back, I don't know when, like middle of May or something, I was contacted by this wonderful poet named Sashi Nag. That's Sachinag. And Sashi said, I'd like to interview you. And I was like, oh, okay, well, when are we going to do this? And how are we going to set it up and so forth? And I'm sure he's really busy too. So it was kind of a very scattered back and forth. And he said, oh, well, it's by email. So every once in a while I'd say, okay, so when are you going to send me these questions? Well, he sent them on the 14th of June, which happens to be my grandson's birthday. And I guess I still hadn't come to grips with the fact that there was stuff going on which was getting in my way and making me very tired and so forth. So anyway, so on the 20, he'd said it was on the 28th, and I had to have it in by the 28th. Can you do that? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. But I don't know why my brain thought it was the 28th of July. Okay, so on the 29th of June, I which happened to be one of the days at the hospital, at the clinic, I should say, and so I was like, I got this message saying, well, whatever you have, can you kind of send it today? Because, I sort of need it now. And I was like, oh my God, it was 28th of July. It wasn't 28th of July, it was 28th of June. And it was already the 29th. And I said, well, okay, I've got my phone and I'm pretty facile. I can write quickly. And I had looked at the questions and I'd sort of been, the first 3 questions that I had to answer were kind of rolling around in my brain, and I thought about different stuff I could say and so forth. So anyway, so Sashi says, I said, okay, I'll send you what I've got at the end of the day. So I did what I could, and at the end of that evening, I sent him the 3 questions I had answered and said, am I even in the ballpark here? Like, is this supposed to be more of a, I've got to make sure I got this bright enough. Yeah. Is this supposed to be more formal, like a formal thing? Because I've been writing it very conversationally, very casually. And he's like, no, it's whatever you want to make it. So it's fine, whatever. But can you get it to me by 5 o'clock tomorrow? So I happen to have a free day the next day, like nothing on, which was a day when I was going to do this store thing with the mugs and all the rest of it. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. I had to do 7 questions altogether. So I had the 3 required questions, the other 4 questions, and then there was this other stuff, like send a photo, send links to this, send, different things. So I got it all done. I spent the whole day doing it. And like the next day, or at least on the 1st of July maybe, it came out because it was for the July issue. And so Artisanal Writer, as it turns out, is a digital, like a virtual, not virtual, I think digital is the right answer, digital publication published in Mississauga, Ontario. And so if you go to there, you will see that article, and it's got my Wildcat, it's got the picture you see right there, my Wildcat photo on it, the Wildcat CD cover. And the thing about it is that I think you have to actually create an account in order to comment or read the whole article. Now, I think you could make that account and then cancel it right afterwards. Or what I've done is I've actually signed up for emails, just notifications if somebody else has submitted something, put something up in the publication. But it was really interesting, and I was really considering I wrote it so casually, like I said. I was really pleased with the results. I might have said other things if I'd been taking more time, but it also had to be fairly concise. And so yeah, have a look at it if you like. I'm really happy with it. And have a look at search out Sashi Nag and read some of his stuff too. He's quite a delightful guy. So that being the case, I am going to finish up here with I Drive Away. And I think what I'll do next time is I'll start or end with the official lyric video for On the Water, so you can hear and see it. I haven't done it for a long time. I am a wild one. I've led a straight life. I raised my children right. I've been a good wife. But when the walls start closing in, cause I've been staying at home, I put the pedal to the metal and I start to roam. I go downtown, I head for the hills. I bomb along the back roads and just for the thrills, I hit the fast lane on the highway and I drive away. I drive away. I am a wild one. I've led a straight life. I raised my children right. I've been a good wife. But I could drive for miles until I run out of fuel. Rolling down the highway, listening to Lou. It takes a road trip to take away my stay-at-home blues. I drove into Quebec with my sister and a friend. We went to get my mother and bring her home again. I've done the family camping from the west coast to the east and down to the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. We went to Tadoussac. We went to PEI. We crossed Vancouver Island and crossed the mountains high. We love to come back company. I love to go back home. But sometimes when I travel, I just have to go alone. I've been to Pittsburgh. I hopped through Lewisburg, Harrisburg, and Gettysburg Town. I drove the Shenandoah Valley to Kentucky on my own. Spent some time in San Diego on the dock of the bay. Took a night drive across the desert, heading east to LA. I went up to Idlewild at dawn, at San Bernardino way. I dropped some coins in Vegas, but I didn't really play. I drive, I fly, I get aboard a train. I've been to New York City, and you know I'll go again. I am a wild one. I've led a straight life. I raised my children right. I've been a good wife. But when the walls close in, I hit the highway, and I drive. I drive away. I drive away. I drive away. I drive away. And I just think that's so much fun with what Chris did with the car. He's beatboxing in there too. That's the kind of thunk, thunk, thunk you can hear, and then the licensed car songs. And you like that one, eh, Marianne? I tell you what, it is a crowd favorite. And what I usually do when I present it in person, if that ever is going to happen again, is that I usually will ask, hey, does anybody here beatbox? Because if you do, come on up and join me. And I've had lots of fun with all guys, actually. Have always been guys that have, so maybe it's a guy thing, but at any rate. And lots of different performances with that. And then it was at CD Babies, well, not CD, Daryl Hers does a thing every year called Indie Week, and it is a week-long festival of music in Toronto at all the different venues sort of in central Toronto. Plus there's, different seminars and things that you can go to. And so I did this gig. Shari and Chris were also performing that night at the same place. So they did some music for me. And it's just really, really, really fun. But that's not the place I was talking about. Right. So there's another woman in Toronto who does something in the spring called Soundtrack to the Cities, SOTC. And that's where the banner from my YouTube channel comes from. It was Amanda Hunter, a headshot that she did for Soundtrack for the City. I was still wearing my blue and white glasses, which I don't have to wear anymore. And so I was doing it at this little tiny place, and a bunch of my sisters were able to come and some friends. And when I said, would anybody, Alistair Bradley was my accompanist, but he wasn't going to accompany this one. And so I said, well, does anybody beatbox? And dead silence. Nobody was going to volunteer. So I said, well, okay, well, if you're so moved, do some finger snapping or some percussion or something. So it was really neat because as I went on in I Drive Away, the taps on the table and finger snaps and body percussion and stuff kind of built up in the place until the end of the song. So it was really great. So Marianne, it's lovely that you came. It was nice to have some company. I hope a few more people watch this later on. And I'm just going to say goodbye now, Bama P, and I'll see you next Monday is fine. this being the summer, I think what I'm going to do now is like the first week of August, I'm there's all kinds of stuff going on that week. I'm not going to do one the first week of August. I'm going to try to do every other week, and I'll try to let you know, if possible, when it's going to be canceled or postponed or like on another day besides Monday. But for now, plan on coming by next Monday. And Mama P, thanks so much.